Okay, today's date is the 21st of May. It's 15:34. I'll try and keep this in sync, which is difficult to do. So this is mounted through the front port. You can see it's lit up. This is a Vanja USB 3.0 reader that runs in, anyhow. So there's a micro SD. So the specs on the Vanja, this is USB 3.0 for sure. So it says here 80 to 100 megabytes. Let's put that aside for a second. Let's just say 40 to 60 megabytes would be sufficient, which is USB 2.0 speeds, but it's capable of up to 3.0 speeds. And this is the micro SD that's currently in the Vanja. It's 256 gigabyte. And as you can see there, it says speeds up to. Now, again, up to. I'm not suggesting that this is going to power through and run at that speed. But I know I've run it before. I haven't had to do a speed test because it was reasonable. And I would have guessed it would have at least achieved those kind of speeds. I'll have to maybe run it on a separate computer to prove my point with this. So, but we're going to go over to the disk utility, but disk speed test made by Blackmagic. We are going to select the target drive, which is the 256, which is that over there. Back over to here, we're going to hit open. And we can option this. I can do a 1 gigabyte, but I think if we keep this fair, let's just go with 3. So that's a 3 gigabyte test speed. Now, like I said, I would like to get at least USB 2.0 speeds. This isn't even USB 1.0, okay? So that's 2.5. I can't even get a read speed on it. It won't acknowledge any of this, which is just really, really weird. One of the issues I've primarily seen with this computer is the front I/O is really messed up. It's the front 2 ports, this SD card slot. The rear, it's questionable. I'm not 100% sure. Specifically, the other thing I've noticed is that it's more of an issue with the write than it has to do with the read. Real infrequency, like jumps around, like works for a couple seconds, then fails. And that's what happened like the first time I plugged it in and I tried to copy like a 50 gigabyte file. It was like, it did it in 30 seconds. Then I tried to do another 50 gigabyte file. Then the whole thing crashed. It wouldn't work. Real inconsistency. Anyhow, this isn't doing anything. So let's put that aside for a second. You can see the spinning wheel of death. And we're going to take a file here. And this is off the NOS drive, which is 3.84 gigabytes. And I'm just going to try and copy that over to here. They'll probably do it relatively quickly. Or hopefully it would. But that shouldn't happen to me. It should just be immediate. The NOS drive's under the desk. It's doing it, saying 5 minutes. Now, I'm a little surprised. I would have thought that it would read a bit faster than that. It is going out of the NOS and then over some Cat7 cable, but that's like rated at 100 gigabit or whatever the hell it is. And then that's plugged in, so that's under the desk. It's the device. That's the NOS. This white one over here, okay? And I have copied things in the past on my 2017 MacBook Pro from the NOS to that, and it's faster than this. I've sold my laptop, so I have no way of proving that now. But I used to do it through the network, and it copied quicker than this. I would probably say that this should be half the amount of time, maybe a third, something like that. It's still copying it, but even the light that comes up and goes back and forth is disconcerting. That really, I don't think should happen. So yeah, again, that's the Vanja front I/O micro SD 256. As I pointed out, really, really slow speed test. And even now, like if I try and we're gonna select the drive and I'll even, again, it's 256 and I'm gonna put it at 1 gigabyte. I'm just gonna hit start. And that's it as well. Like it's running in the background, 5 minutes. It's like 3.8, 5 minutes. And like I said, I think that with this, it should be USB speeds of 30, 40 megabytes per second. And that's what you should expect. And I think what you'll see maybe here is a complete stall out. But now it's not moving. Again, there is no transfer rate. And I am stress testing the machine by putting a little bit through it, but this machine, the way it's spec'd, it's moved again. The way it's spec'd is it should be able to handle multiple tasks simultaneously. It's got 64 gigabyte of RAM. It's got one extra core in it than the standard, and this is the M1 Max. And this is what it does. And you can just see it's just stalling out. Like, and if I give it more than one task, but like, again, I emphasize, minimum I'd expect 40 to 60 MB. Again, 21st of May, 1540. Try to not be too biased. Just very disappointed. I want this to work properly.